So hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and right before you see the GTX 780Ti Matrix from ASUS, my newly acquired 780Ti, my third 780Ti actually, and also my first overclocking focused 780Ti. The other two I had before, one reference PCB and one slightly upgraded reference PCB from Gigabyte, and yeah. So since I really do love 780Ti's and 28nm cards in general, like they scale nice, they are not completely locked down, and like they are getting cheaper. This one still cost me 130 euros, which is a lot more than the 70 euros that I paid for my reference PCB 780Ti. So yeah, it is still quite expensive, but I mean, this is pretty much, it's not a kingpin, but I mean, this is, apart from maybe the Kingpin, pretty much the best PCB you can get for 780Ti. And yeah, so one thing that's also really nice about this PCB is that this right here, the VCore PWM controller, again you can see it is a Digi Plus, so it's not SHE branded anymore, but it's one of the rebranded ASUS PWM controllers, but it is an ASP1212. And there is a single PWM controller that's rebranded by ASUS that has a public datasheet, and that is the ASP1212. I have a datasheet for this one, which means I can absolutely go to town on this card. And I really like, I actually thought that this won't have it, because I think the Matrix 7970 uses the same thing. Or maybe, no. It's not the Fury, and it's not the 290X, because those are limited to another PWM controller. So it must have been the 7970. Yeah, but this one, ASP1212, it has a public datasheet, and I just really like that. So I can go to town on this card. And just in general, the VRM is like, the PCB actually looks pretty similar to the 980Ti Strix that I have. Just that the memory VRM has been moved to here, whereas the 980Ti has it over here. Yeah, but like you can see that this is an overclocking focused PCB, and it actually also has some extreme overclocking features like my Lightning. I like the GTX 580 Lightning that I have. It has a LN2 mode over here, which I presume is just a BIOS switch, and then it has a few more things. It has a save mode button here, which is pretty much just a backup function in case GPU tweak screws you up. It has a Molex connector over here, which I presume is for extra power. I don't really know for what it is. And then on the back side, you can see over here, my camera really doesn't want to focus on this. So let's give it time. Yeah, so you can see those 6 things. Those are voltage read and voltage control points. Come on, just focus. And then over here, those 2 things which you can short out are, well, they enable LN2 and enable memory heating system. Yes, because this card has a memory heating system. So yeah, this is a function when you go to liquid nitrogen, when you really cool those cards down. If you have memory VRAM chips, which this card doesn't have. Samsung memory chips do not like being cooled down all the way, so this card has a memory heating system which heats up the memory chips so they behave like they should. But since this card uses SK Hynix, I don't think I'll be using the memory heating system, because Hynix chip, they, as far as I know, they don't complain. You can cool them all the way down and they just keep running. So yeah. And then the other thing, the LN2 enable, that looks like an OCP or OTP removal thing to me, because like when you cool cards down, the memory sensor on the GPU, the temperature sensor on the GPU tends to bug out, and it tends to report pretty much any temperature except the one that it's actually running on. So yeah, might also be over temperature protection override. And yeah, so then the next thing would of course be the VRMs themselves. I already said that this PWM controller has a public datasheet. And yeah, the ASP1212, it says in the datasheet from International Rectifier, programmable 1-phase to 8-phase operation. We see that there are 12 power stages in this vCore VRM, which means that this is very likely a doubled 6-phase. And yeah, I don't know if the other two remaining ones just go to memory, because there's another controller over here from UPI Semiconductor that might be memory power. It might do something else. It could also be a power monitoring chip, though normally 780 Ti's should use an INA 3221 for that, so I'm not sure about that. Might just be. It could also be a really weird thing where they run 8 phases and then double the rest. But yeah, I really don't know. It's just that this voltage controller can't do 12 phases, so there has to be some doubling involved. And those little chips over here, these are IR3598s, so those can both double and just dual drive power stages or dual NFETs. Let's just look, what do we have here actually for our power stages? Oh, you really can't read what those are. Oh man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no chance I'm going to be able to read this right now. So don't know which MOSFETs these are. Gonna have to look that up later. And yeah, but still, like, this is a very, very nice PCB for the 780 Ti. And yeah, actually I saw this thing on eBay and I just thought, oh my god, it's a matrix. And like, my Gigabyte 780 Ti, it clocks really, really good because the core is just made out of pure gold. Like, it does 1320 megahertz on stock voltage, whereas my other 780 Ti can't go even near that at 1.3 volts. Sadly, this core isn't that much better either. So my Gigabyte one has an ASIC quality that is better than about 90% of 780 Ti's. This one is better than about 48% of 780 Ti's, which is not as bad as the better than 15% of 780 Ti's core that my reference PCB has, but in terms of the actual clock that it's hitting, it's very similar to my reference 780 on a 780 Ti on water cooling. And like, the heatsink this comes with is, it's not like it's running much hotter with this heatsink, like it's only dual fan, but it does cool really, really well. Like, the card doesn't go above 60, even at max voltage, which is 1.21 volts for this card. I think you could go higher with GPU tweak, because like, this is an extreme overclocking card, so of course it can go higher. It's just that in MSI Afterburner 1.212 volts is the highest you can go to. And yeah, I haven't actually checked how well the memory does, but since literally apart from my 2 low power cards, every 28nm card that I own is SK Hynix, so I think it's gonna do about the same. And yeah, so, but I'm really excited that I have this card. So maybe, yeah, I can totally strap the water cooler to this thing, and then it's maybe it does scale with cooling. Like, my reference PCB picked up a couple megahertz when I cooled it down with water cooling, though it wasn't really fully stable. But this is like, my reference PCB, best it could do is 1252 megahertz on the stock or the Morpheus cooler. On water cooling it did 1272, though I don't know if that's fully stable. This one does with the stock cooler about 1252, but it does have artifacts, so I also call this not very stable. So the core does about the same. So yeah, but the thing is, like, this PCB obviously gives you a lot more things to play with than a reference PCB from NVIDIA. And if I wanted to, I could also just totally flash the Kingpin BIOS onto this and go to 1.3 volts. Because this VRM will handle 1.3 volts a lot better than the reference 6-phase does. And yeah. And I mean, the reference didn't blow up. I don't know if the reference PCB can sustain it, but it definitely survives a benchmark. It's just that, yeah, I mean, my Gigabyte already is faulty, which is why I have this card. I'm like, if my Gigabyte would be fully functional, I would just run that thing on everything. Like, the core is absolutely incredible. But yeah, so since my Gigabyte has one of the memory modules failing, I have this now to pretty much replace it as my fast 780 Ti. I just hope that I was hoping for a better core. Like, I mean, I knew the core wouldn't be incredible because it is just a normal matrix, not a matrix platinum. So I pretty much knew from the beginning that this core wouldn't be that great, but I really hoped for something like maybe 60-70% ASIC quality and not 48. So yeah, but maybe it does scale with voltage, maybe it scales when I water cool it, maybe I can tinker with VRAM switching frequency or something. Like, if any 780 Ti is gonna scale really well, I think it's going to be this. So yeah, and that's pretty much it from the immediate overview of the PCB right here. Yeah, so another new card, another 780 Ti, another extreme overclocking focused card. Really happy to have this, and yeah, so I guess that's it for the video right now. Really short one, actually. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Just a quick overview over the PCB. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye.